Autistic conversion therapy in this video. Previous video I made was about gay conversion therapy to make them straight. Autistic people are trying to make them normal in the neurotypical, which is our word for normal people. And it's fraudulent. And because you're not going to succeed, because the autistic brain is just simply wired very different from a neurotypical brain. That is not to say that a neurotypical brain or autistic brain is inferior or superior to the other brain. It's just different. And if you watch my other video on the subject of neurological apartheid, that's what it is. It's apartheid, not based on race, as in the case of South Africa, but based on neurology. That my brain is better than your brain, and through an elaborate system of psychiatrists, social workers, therapists, and psychiatrists, you have to fix people. And I resent being fixed, because I cannot be someone who I am not, okay? Because I already tried being someone who I'm not. My best friend, Sabina Carlson, and it didn't work, because because I can't be who I'm not. And yet these psychiatrists and therapists try to fix people based on their definition of helping them. They do not understand the difference between helping people and fixing them, and helping people versus enabling them. And it's very important that they understand the difference. And another annoying thing about the neurotypical brain, and no, I'm not saying neurotypical is inferior, because we autistics have our inferior, our weaknesses in our brain as well, but from a neurotypical weakness of the brain is the way I see the world is the way all people see the world. You know, my interests, my goals, my ambitions, my professional goals. And I see it all the time in politics. When the US invaded Iraq, I mean, did they care about what the Iraqis wanted? Or in Berlin in 1885, when they colonized the African continent, did they invite any Africans to the show? It was what Europe wanted. It was what Americans wanted. It wasn't what the Africans or Iraqis wanted. Or when the Soviet Union invaded Afghanistan, it wasn't what the Afghanis wanted, it was the Soviet Union. Why did the Mujahideen fight so hard against the Soviet Union? Because they could not live the life that the Soviet Union forced on them. Because there was a cultural difference. That's why. And the same thing with autistic people. Our brains are just wired very differently. Unfortunately, the educational, legal, political, social, and economic system forces us to behave that way that we want, and it drives us mad. Because for an autistic person, we don't force people to behave in a particular way. We just accept people the way they are. Another annoying thing about the neurotypical brain is the possession of social status. And especially in my own Russian culture. Because a classic Russian book, Anna Karenina, which goes, some families are happier than others, and some families are miserable than others. Effectively becomes a contest. Whose family is better than whose family? And again, this whole competition, you know, I'm better than you are, you better than me, is just ridiculous. And I don't understand that about the neurotypical brain. You know, we're all great, and we all have our strengths and all have our weaknesses, based on differences in our personalities, our races, our cultures, our brain functions. Yet for the same reason, the neurotypical brain tries to make us into cookie cutters. And it really is annoying, because human beings are not mass-produced like cookie cutters. Okay? We all have individual strengths and beliefs and values. And it's time that the psychiatrists, the social workers, especially counselors and psychiatrists, understand that people think, feel, behave, and act, see the world differently. And if they keep fixing us, we'll grow more resentful of the mental health profession and the educational system, which tries to teach us in the correct way, or help us in the correct way. And yet, I've yet to figure out what the hell that constitutes. So the point is, to complete my full argument, the autistic conversion therapy, as defined by the professionals, is a fraud. And it should be stopped.